Hey, it's Big Jeff from BigJeffAudio.com, and we're talking about American bass. I mean, this line has been around for a long time, and Bob, man, I don't know if he knows, but he makes some killer product, and this is one of them. This is the Velocity, the HD-Velocity. It's a $550 woofer, 2200 watts RMS. I'm sitting here with a dual 1 ohm right now, Sense Series 84.4, 3-inch voice coil, carbon fiber, and they got a new motor structure, which came out like mid 24 into 25. So we're gonna crack this open, we're gonna unbox it, and then I know y'all love seeing what we call flex testing, where we flex and see the Excursion.
I like it, I like it, I like it.
Because this is a SPL woofer for sure. Over 4,000 watts max. We're gonna push it. We're gonna get this thing up about 3,000, go over the RMS and see what happens. So let's crack this baby open. We do have these in stock at BigJeffAudio.com. Before I even go any further, hit that like button, leave a comment. You can always leave one at the end. And you know, subscribe, like, and follow, depending on where you're watching this on our platform. And always go check out BigJeffAudio.com. All right, let's crack this baby open. All right, so we got 1 box, 2 box. I like that cardboard up top here. You don't see that too often. You got, ooh, okay. Now I see these are caps. You usually use these in like AC current type home twist caps, which means these probably don't have terminals. I'm gonna guess it has wire sticking out, which some people like, some people don't. American bass sticker. We got a manual. We're gonna go over that. We got some foam on top, and then this does have some weight. Should say on here 46.7 pounds, so almost 50 pounds. Okay, let me get this bad boy out. Yeah, there's some weight on here. Oh man, you think you're strong. 50-pound woofer.
Stay strong, man.
Okay, so I like the boxing, this foam all the way around. Okay, so yes, I was right. I don't know. I'm gonna say 10 or 12 gauge speaker wire, which should be sufficient enough. It's power, like it's stranded cable. It wires wire, basically, when it comes to this. We'll call it power ground wire. Okay. Woo! That thing's a beast. Okay, double tinsel. We have the wire coming off. That's why you have these twist-on nuts. So the cool thing about that is you're gonna have push terminals. I would honestly say you'd strip the wire back, hook your speaker wire to it, twist it on here, or you could solder it. Looks like a screw down ring on the black spider. And I'm gonna guess, yep, dual spider. I could feel the top and the bottom. We have a nice bubble surround, carbon fiber, dust cap, double stitch.
She looks great. She looks great.
But this is what I really like, is the new motor. And I talked to them. So you can see right here, these like, this is milled. This helps with heat transfer. Okay. Now, 3-inch voice coil. It is definitely high temp glue. I don't think it's 8-layer. Obviously, American Bass has some woofers that are bigger and beefier too. $500 range though. You're in a 2200 watt RMS.
Not bad at all.
Pretty standard. Okay. This thing is kind of beefy. Let's look at some specs and then we'll get up close and personal. Let's see what we got here. So the Velocity comes in a 10, 12, 15, and 18. Dual 1 or dual 2. We have, I think, all of them in stock right now at the end of August. And let's see what the FS is. Velocity 10. Ooh, FS to 32, very low. And I've seen a lot of these bigger woofers lately be in like the 38s. So low FS. X Max. Now X Max is how far up and how far down this will go. 17.5 millimeter. So this thing's gonna have some good excursion. It is pretty tight, and we're not gonna break it in. We're gonna mount it later and just go on it. You have a rubber gasket. You know, I don't really like the big tall surrounds as much, so I like this look. And I think this thing should be pretty good because there should be plenty of ventilation the way this basket is. Boy, that's a big hole. Okay, let's do this. Let's get the up close and personal.
Up close and personal.
We're gonna take a look. So you got your double tinsel leads. And I'm only gonna give you pros and cons, good or bad. I would like to see a little bit thicker on the tinsel lead, especially for a $500 sub. But if the manufacturer spec says that's fine, then you don't have to overdo it. You're talking about, that's actual copper wire too. You can see there is no shininess aluminum in there, so that's good. And then if we get down here, you'll see that high temp coil. And actually copper, you can see where it's coated and not coated at the very top.
I see it, I see it.
And then you even have like portholes here in the coil. So this thing probably does pretty good with venting itself and heat transfer. All right, and then I don't know if some of y'all like this or not. I don't see this part in the comments, but we're gonna go all the way in, see what it looks like. So as you go all the way up to the top, we can see we're all the way at the dust cap, and then we're gonna come back. You can see the coil, the cylinder wall, and all the way up here. We wanted a proctal exam on a woofer.
No, you didn't.
There we go. And then it looks like some porting. Yep. Okay, so these are drilled all the way through. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 holes ported, and those go all the way in. And then we have our larger port. So I don't know, I think the biggest thing on this design is the cooling feature, which is good for you bass heads. Okay, so let's get a couple measurements, because I don't think it has it on here. It's all millimeter, I hate that. Okay, so mounting depth is 9 inches. You're gonna need to keep it a little bit off of the bottom, so say 9.5. Overall diameter on the 12 inches, 13. And then from, that's not bad, 12-inch woofer, and we got from basically surround to surround where it touches the basket, you're at 11.5. So a lot of surface area. And this thing is really tight, so it's gonna take some power to move this thing. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, I really like this. I just like, because I think it's the design, it would be really good to cool this thing down. And if you got this like a low hertz, the movement would move a ton of air, cool this off. Little inside you don't know, never just shut your system off if you smell the woofers or you think it's overheating or you can feel it or if you're checking temperature. That's the worst thing to do. It could actually seize up. Best thing to do is lower the volume and drop the hertz down. Keep a track that's like 20 hertz or something, which it'll just move and it won't heat up. Actually, the impedance rises, you get less power of the amp and everything else, and it will move a ton of air to help naturally cool it off. Worst thing you can do is just shut the system down. You want to keep the woofer moving until it cools back down. I can't give you like coil specs, like how, let me see here. Sometimes they'll tell you what temperature, and then you can actually have a like a FLIR or a temperature gauge to see how hot it is. 3-layer foam surround, 3-inch 4-layer. Yeah, I knew it wasn't 8. 4-layer high temp coil. Multi-layer poly cotton spider, triple stack slugs, which is under this boot. Backplate, motor heatsink, pole piece. Okay, rubber mag. Okay, so basics, but it doesn't tell me temperature and stuff like that. But I'm gonna guess 3-inch 4-layer. You really don't want to get it over 250 or so, around there. Which doesn't mean it won't bang. It just means you got to watch it. But I think this thing moves a lot of air. Looks like that's glued down. And then we'll look back at the spider. Turn on the up close and personal. You can see that the spider is glued. And then there's a screw down ring because there is two spiders. There's a spider here, and then there's one up top. So there's a gap in the middle. Okay, I think what we got to do is, what y'all like to see is this thing move and put some power to it. So with some movie magic, I'm going to put this over here in the flux test venture thingy right there. And then we're going to hook it up and we're going to run some test tones through it and watch this thing move. I'm Big Jeff from BigJeffAudio.com with the American-based HD-VELOCITY-12-inch, really popular selling sub right now. And very low return rate, which means people are happy and they're doing the job. I'll be right back as quick as this. Okay, we're back, Movie Magic, and this is the first time ever. I actually had to cut the hole out bigger to fit this beast in here. So the basket is oversized. I told you 12-inch. It actually was 11.5. And I put a lot of woofers in here, even some of the big Rage XLs. Never had a basket I'd trim out, and it's still even, I didn't want to trim it too big, but it's in there and it ain't moving. But this thing is serious. Okay, so we got the Velocity 12. We're gonna run, let me turn on my SMD AM1 so I can see RMS. And we're gonna push this thing. I'm not gonna kill it, but we're gonna push it and flex test it. Let me get this to dyno power so I can, real-time power. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna start this up. Excursion's crazy on this thing. And you know what? Efficient, because we're only going about 1,000 watts here. I'm gonna turn it up later, but this thing is moving. This thing is cranking. Man, the X-Max on here is unreal. And it doesn't even do justice unless you're on the camera. I mean, you're here live, I mean. And we're barely even putting about 1,000 watts in it. It's vibrating the whole thing. I'd have to use lock washers on all this. Okay, so one, what I'm impressed is how huge the basket is, how much surface area. Two, I'm definitely impressed with how efficient, because 2200 watts RMS, and this thing is moving with around 1,000, 1,200. So I can imagine in an enclosure properly built what this thing will do, and that's probably why these things are selling so good right now. Free air is not anything to really tell a woofer. It's how it performs in an enclosure, but I know y'all love to see it. You love to see that X-Max, you love to see it move. And that's why we built this. That's why we do these tests. And just so you know, before we get it here, we get it tuned up, we get it warmed up, and it's just lukewarm really, and this thing's been playing. So this is definitely a beast. Price point a little high. But, I mean, a lot of stuff has come up with tariffs. I'm sure it might come back down if things change. But it all matters on when the product come in. But I think even if it was a few dollars cheaper, it's not going to make the difference. it's worth the money for sure. And now I know why people are buying so many of these Velocity. So 10, 12, 15, and I believe there is a 18. Yes, there's 18. Dual 1, dual 2. These are real cool. Get yourself one if you're an SPL bass head. All around everyday banger right here. And guys that want to do some, competing, $500 or so, it's a great woofer. Hey, I'm Big Jeff from BigJeffAudio.com. Been a distributor and dealer for American Bass for years. And here we are with the Velocity 12. I'll see you on the next one.